Welcome to this video. My name is Eva, and in this video I will talk about burnout. A short disclaimer: if you suffer with any symptoms of burnout, please seek help from a professional therapist who can help you with that. But I'm just really curious about the topic, and I really hope that what I've learned can also help you. So there are different types of burnout. In this video we'll talk about 3 types of burnouts. The first one is the overload burnout. So this can happen if you work a certain job or even if you create your own business where you constantly work, where you're just at one point so overwhelmed by new types of things that you do that it just becomes too much. You're exhausted in the end, and this can very often happen for people who tend to have that workaholism, so tend to not focus on issues that they have, for example childhood trauma or any type of specific trauma that happened to him and they happened to him or her or you, and you want to rush everything down with work, just shut off your feelings by working more. And also if you're super ambitious and if you identify your self-worth as achievement from work, that's also some people who can slide into that type of burnout. So people who just work all the time, who cannot stop because they feel like if they would stop and if they would have less success in work, they would also be less of a person. So to have that identification between work and your personality, and I feel like I had that a little bit with this nutrition business that I was trying to create, because for example, if you go to school, university, or you have a job, then in some jobs they give you a certain amount of work that you can do, but in a business you can work non-stop. So if you are that type of person, so overachieving, workaholism a little bit, it can get too much and it can really be detrimental to your mental health, because you don't spend time with friends anymore, you don't spend time doing anything else anymore, and it's not healthy. So how do people cope? They cope in non-effective ways by either just complaining or by just saying, oh man, I'm not doing good, so I have to work more. So they even create more work for themselves. But what would be much better in some possible solution strategies would be to go to a professional therapist to work on underlying issues and to understand, why do I feel the need to work so much? Why do I feel the need to shut off my emotions? To develop stronger emotion regulation skills. So to say, okay, instead of working that issue away, working that feeling away, I instead, for example, breathe, make breath exercises, name my emotion, process my emotion. That can all be super helpful if you have a therapist who can help you with that. And also to reframe negative self-talk and to say, okay, I'm more than the success I do in work, I'm more than what I do, I am who I am. And what I do is not a direct reflection of my self-worth. So no matter if I achieve a lot today or not a lot today, my self-worth is innate. So that is super important, to separate your worth from your work. And if you have a therapist, that's awesome, who can help you in really making that separation. And also what is really important, to diversify yourself. So that can really help to not fall into the trap of seeking your validation only from your work, because what happens if work doesn't work out so much anymore, really it can be detrimental to your mental health. So it's really important to create some complexity in your life. So for example, focus on being also a good husband or wife or father or mother or friend, or you want to start a new hobby, just so that you are, because if you only focus your whole happiness from one type of thing, and that one type of thing crashes down or doesn't work out the way that you want to work it out, can be really detrimental to your mental health. But if you have a balance between different things that make you happy, such as a hobby or friends, relationships, or maybe a purpose, helping other people or animals, whatever it is, it can really create a balance, and it can really create a strong foundation to not fall into into this workaholism. So another one, and this is kind of the opposite to this overworking and burnout, where you just at one point are just too exhausted to do anything anymore, is if you're not challenged at all. And this can happen if you're, for example, someone who's very like intellectually very smart and always wants to learn and is curious, and you want to progress, and then you will suddenly fall into a role at work where there is no progress. And for some people that is fine, like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're that type of person who needs that stimulation and that consistent growth and learning, that can be super detrimental to your mental health if you're in a role where there is no progress. So you can feel like you lose hope in life and you lose hope in your work, and you can get really depressed and you can lose motivation from it. So a strategy for that would be, first, of course, seek professional help from a therapist who can help you. And also what could be great would be to seek also a career coach or a career guidance from people who can help you, because if you are that type of person who suffers when there is no progress, it's so important to validate yourself and to say, yes, this job is not right for me. I need challenge, and there's nothing wrong with me for needing challenge. That's just my personality type. So yeah, I can kind of learn and try to see if I can either change the job position or find ways within my job positions that I can create that challenge that I need. That is super, super important, instead of distracting yourself or suppressing it with alcohol or drugs or anything like that, or thought suppression, just not thinking about it. Instead, to go to a therapist or a career coach and say, hey, help me finding a strategy on how I can change to a different job or to a different position where I'm more challenged. And I think that's super, super important, because it's I think some people, they have the notion that you have that job now and you have to suffer for the rest of your life. And maybe for some people that is the case, but maybe for you not, and you actually have opportunities and you have choices. You just don't see them at this specific moment because you're so maybe disillusioned by your job. But if you seek help with your therapist and career coach, they can really actually help you find perspective again and changing your job, or finding a new position, or finding ways within your position that can help you to find like opportunities or find challenges again. The last one that I'm going to talk about in this video of burnout is the neglect burnout. That's when you're, for example, in a job position where you, in the beginning, you're so motivated and you want to make change. And then after some time, you realize that nobody's listening to you. For example, if there's a problem and you see that problem and you say, okay, I have a strategy on how to improve that problem, and people and you give that solution to your boss or to your manager, and that manager or boss doesn't acknowledge it, it can feel very demotivating. So if you feel like there's like nothing that you do makes a real impact, that can feel very, very demotivating. And also if you're in a job position where there's no clear structure, so you do your best but it still feels like you're constantly failing because there is not a good management leadership that can support you in your tasks, it can feel very dismotivating. And it can also eventually, if you stay in that role, it can slowly get you to become more depressed. So here it's also super important to seek professional help and to say, to acknowledge, hey, this job position is not making me happy, what can I change? Are there opportunities or possibilities that I can take advantage from? Can I go to a career coach who can help me getting perspective and finding either maybe joy within the job position that I do right now by learning how to set boundaries or by learning how to be more assertive? Or can I maybe change the job position and find a job that is more aligned with my purpose, with my personality, with who I am? So that is super, super important to fight burnout, because I for sure struggled with yeah, with my business, with feeling overwhelmed and with having to set my own, um, giving myself the permission to take my own breaks and learning that, and also working in a job that was super below my capacity, to say, okay, this job is not fulfilling for me at all. How can I shift? How can I change? And I'm still in that process, and I think it's so worth it. So yeah. So if you're suffering from any types of those symptoms, please seek professional help. I think, yeah, we don't need to work our whole life a job that we hate. Maybe there are possibilities and there are opportunities that we can find change and find solutions that are better for us. So I really hope that video helped you if you're struggling with some of those symptoms. Maybe you already had burnout in the past. It's of course a huge topic, and this is just a 10-minute video, so it barely scratches the foundational the foundations of where burnout actually is, but I think it's still important to raise awareness about this topic. So yeah, please let me know if you have any comments or anything in the comment section, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I see you in my next video. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, see what I offer in the description box, or follow me on other social media platforms, and see you in my next video.